Living Local presents Biz Buzz 413 with your host, Jill Munson.
And before we get started with today's episode of Biz Buzz 413, a couple quick thank you shout outs. Tiger Web Designs, thanks for making us look awesome on the World Wide Web. A thank you to my company, Pop More, confidence coaching and training done differently. And of course, a huge thank you to livinglocal413.org. Welcome to Biz Buzz 413. I am, hopefully you know this by now, your host, Jill Munson. This show is part of Living Local 413, and it's this overarching initiative to really start to embrace all four counties, bring them together, look at innovative strategies, have meaningful conversations, and start to have accessible resources between all the business and residents in these four counties. And it was the brainchild of local entrepreneur Bill Cole, so we appreciate that. What we're doing here on Biz Buzz 413 is we're talking, and good thing I love to do that. So we're talking about what you want to hear, and I'm getting loads and loads of ideas. So keep sending them. I'll do as many as I can. But essentially, we're trying to find out what the pulse of the region is. And one of the things that we got a request was like, it's great to talk to businesses and what they're doing, but what about the people? And there's all these great people here in the 413, and they're doing these really cool things. Some are business owners, some are, they're working in nonprofit or running nonprofits. Some are our leaders, our politicians, but they're doing these really cool things. And we want to know more about them, the human them. So we created the Beyond the Biz, get it, B-I-Z, Biz Card series. And we're starting that today. So I'm really excited. If you have a recommendation for anything for Biz Buzz 413, someone for Beyond the Biz Card, email me. Feel free, reach out. It's pretty easy. The email is bizbuzz@livinglocal413.org. And I am going to spell that because I don't want any confusion. It's just one Z on the first part, two on the second. So BIZBUZZ, Biz Buzz. So you can email me your ideas. Today, for our first ever Beyond the Biz Card, and I have to be honest, full disclosure, she's not only a friend, she's also my boss, part-time boss, but boss. I have to be nice to you. We're welcoming Meghan Rothschild, president and favorite title ever, chief badass at Chikmedia. Hi, Meghan.
Hey, how you doing?
This is so different because it's like, oh, wait, we're not here to do work. We're here to just have some fun and chit chat. So I
know.
appreciate.
I was like, we got to be careful about how we could veer off on all the to-do list items.
I know, oh, well, today I've got, no. But the funny part is booking your schedule, because I work with you, I know how busy your schedule is. And I'm like, can I get into your schedule for 2026? I was like, goal.
Always have time for you, Jill, especially this. This is an awesome initiative. I'm super excited for this.
Well, and thank you because, Meghan and Chikmedia has been such a huge supporter of Bill's and Living Local 413
Absolutely.
since jump. So we appreciate that. But, I did say in the intro, we don't want this to all be about the company, but I do think, well, first of all, because I'm with you, it'd be dumb if I didn't talk a little bit about Chikmedia. And for purposes here, we'll probably just end up calling it Chick. But I think also because it's an important conversation that I know I've personally heard in the market. So first, just a little bit about Chikmedia. What do we do?
Yeah, so Chikmedia is a full service boutique marketing and PR firm. We got started, wow, I think it's coming up on 13 years, if it's not already.
And you started when you were 15, so that makes
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I had the entrepreneurial mindset as a teenager. So I started the company, if we want to get real, because I was tired of being sexually harassed in the workplace. And so I wanted to start this company that was really focused on empowering women business owners, women leaders in the community, women-run organizations, and so. We're pretty full service. We do everything from graphic design to PR and expert positioning, social media content, marketing strategy, you name it. If it falls under the marketing communications PR umbrella, we either do it or we work with someone who does. And we work with primarily small to medium-sized businesses and a lot of nonprofit organizations.
And you have a hell of a writer on your team, I heard. I mean, that was just
do. It's what I love about Chikmedia is you're absolutely right. We each have very unique, it's a lot of our skill sets overlap, but they also we're all strong in different
Yeah.
areas, which I
Yeah.
think is what makes us such a powerhouse.
Well, and this is where I'll veer off of my predetermined questions and just say it's interesting because I'm, full disclosure, older than Meghan, not by like
By a
decades.
smidge.
I feel like it's decades. I said like I was born when there was still, dirt and I had to walk to school barefoot both ways. No, um, but I'm older than Meghan, and I used to have an advertising agency. So and you and I have gotten this comment in the marketplace that it's shocking that we can work together. And I think at first
Yeah,
maybe we bought into that because that's the world we live in. Like, could two strong women that both have opinions work together and do it well?
right.
And I mean, I'm still
The
here,
answer
so
is yes. Yeah.
I think we're doing
Yeah,
okay.
I agree. I think that was, and even as we progress, we still get it, right? Like, oh my gosh, it's working between you two. And I you have to check your ego at the door. Like I even, you and I had worked together on things prior to you
Yeah.
actually coming on board at Chikmedia. And I think you said to me at one point, that you were like, wow, she took a step back and let me lead, right? Like that was one of your concerns was, is Meghan gonna, try to butt heads with me? And I like, that's just, it's not my style. And I think that we work really well together.
No, and in full credit, and I've said that publicly. It's not just because because you were gracious enough to come on here with me, but I've said when I joined with Meghan, I didn't know what to expect. And I had a string of not great former employers, so I was a little nervous. And what I
Yeah.
love is that I feel you are open to learning when I have something to bring to the table. However, I also, and this is full credit to you, you, Meghan, but also to the whole team, to Jackson, to Kristen. I have learned so much. You have taught me, the old dog, so many new tricks. Like I go on that, that Insta thing. No, I actually know Instagram now because of you. So thank you. So
Oh my gosh.
you mentioned sexual harassment. We start right off, like get right in there. But so one of the things, and I've heard this, and people listening that maybe are not familiar with Chick Media might think like, Chick Media, like what is? And by the way, it's CHIK. We're not little birds with feathers.
Yep.
So Chick Media, I know I've heard people say like the name, but
Yep.
there's some reason there, and I know the reason. But tell people why Chick Media and what that means.
Yeah. So it's funny you say we're not birds with feathers, but there is peacock feathers
Mm.
sporadically placed throughout our brand. And the reason for that is it's a kind of an homage to when I was being sexually harassed in the workplace. At one place in particular, we called it peacocking. The men
Mm.
would peacock. And when I started the company, I was like, I'd like a subtle sort of like, commentary about that people won't really understand. Like I love that type. I know branding is supposed to be clear and you're supposed to be able to know what someone does right off the bat, but the peacock feather is like my personal embedded message.
Yeah.
And
No,
so,
I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second because people have said that
yeah,
to me. I have my side brand, Pop More, and people are like, my consultant, my business coach was like, well, that doesn't say what you do. And I said, really? Let me ask you a question. I said, Nike, right? I mean,
right,
touche. Like,
right.
so there
Yeah.
is subtlety that should be built in for strategic reason. So go on. I didn't mean to
Yeah. You
interrupt,
want
but
people to be curious about what it
right.
is. So yeah, the company, like I said, so it was based on being sexually harassed. It was based on sort of this just long journey in my professional life of never being taken seriously. Everything was about whether it was my physical appearance or the way I dressed or she must not be smart. She's not smart enough to have that role. You name it, it was said about me. And so the word chick is something that is usually has a negative connotation, like who's this chick, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so we wanted to take it and flip the script on it and empower women to take back words that are used about them that don't need to have negative meaning. You can take them and you can own them and you can turn them into a positive. But with that being said, I didn't want to be CHICK because I thought that was too obvious, too overt. And also as a marketer, you want to be creative and I wanted
Right.
us to stand out. So I will tell you the positives are that it's memorable, it's a very unique name, and people I think people see our logo now and recognize and know who we are. On the flip side, it is a real pain in the ass to have to spell your email address because people never, they always misspell it, right? So like
Oh
we're
yeah.
constantly missing emails because people are like, oh yeah, Chikmedia. And I go to spell it. And in their mind, they've already determined how it's spelled. So that's my one little, man, I wish I had rethought that. But I'm really happy with the name of the company and what we stand for.
And I'm glad, you brought up and because this is a podcast and we aren't doing video yet, Bill wants me to do video. And I'm like, Bill, this old girl, like to have to put on makeup, that's like a whole
Oh yeah,
other
Dan,
level.
so much more effort.
I was like, we need a big old sponsor who's going to pay me to do that now. But for those who don't know Meghan personally, Meghan is stunning. And it's funny. You're welcome. I've said this to you. And again, I have to eat my own humble pie when necessary. And for years, I think I bought into it. I think I bought into, wow, she's stunning. And not like she's sleeping her way to the top because I didn't know your business, but I just didn't think there could be enough substance behind the beauty because you were, in comparison to me, and I'm not knocking myself, but in comparison to me, I was average and you were a knockout. So there had to be this reason you were successful. And I equated it to your beauty, as I think, unfortunately, not just men do. I think women do it to other women.
Do it. Women were some of the worst offenders to me in my professional experience. Sometimes way worse than the men.
So I think if somebody's listening and they can share this, maybe they've got a younger person, somebody who identifies as a woman in their life, share this with them and let them understand the power of embracing other females and supporting them instead of tearing them down. Because once I did that, I now describe you and I literally say to people, yeah, she's stunning. You still are. I mean, yes, you'll say you're older, but you're still a stunning older. But I like to say you're fierce. And what that means to me is that you are smart and savvy and ready to take on whatever your next challenge is. So I guess I challenge people to stop looking. I mean, don't stop looking at the beauty because, everybody knows I like girls, so I'm going to look at the beauty, but don't call HR, So, all right, let's get into the next part. This is the part that everybody wants. The whole reason we're doing Behind the BIZ Card. We want to get to know. So if I asked you just real quick, describe yourself, Meghan Rothschild, in 3 words.
Okay. I would say resilient, outspoken for sure. And I'm going to say fear neutral, not fearless, because I'm not, but I'm also not opposed to fear. That's how I'm going to
write those down and I'm going to use them at my review. No, I'm just kidding.
Perfect.
So earlier I said that your title is, as well as president, is chief badass. So when you're not, badassing it up around the 413, as the boss, what are you doing? What's fun, Meghan?
Yeah. So I love to travel. I'm big into that. That's like, I'm not into like things. I don't need to buy a lot of stuff. I like to buy experiences. So travel. I have my fur babies. I love spending time with my dogs and taking them places. I love reading when I have time for it and when my brain isn't fried at the end of the day. And just really like, biking, cycling with my husband, being outdoors. We're active. And so for me, life is, it's about the experience. So you won't find me sitting in front of the TV watching a lot of shows. I love that. And I absolutely need those times to unplug and whatnot. But there'll be days where I go without the TV on because I'm doing one of those other activities. I'm just I like to be outdoors and spending time with people.
Yeah. And those experiences for sure. I love that, I think for you and we've both, in a sense, reinvented family. There are stereotypes for women. We're supposed to, have, kids and the house and be home with the Betty Crocker apron. And here's the thing. I don't judge anybody for wanting that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's not my jam. And so for you, like, and I see all the time, like you always have and she also has a cat, but the cat can't go as many places as the dogs.
Although the cat is well traveled compared to most cats.
Yeah, and
he does go quite a few places.
We do got to talk about that. I never asked you, but at some point we're going to have to offline talk about that because every time I put my cat in the carrier and put him in the car, he pees, and you don't seem to have as much.
I got tricks for that.
Okay,
she does it, but I got tricks for it.
we're gonna. That'll be another podcast. So I want to look at 413, right? So that's the purpose of living local. who's someone in the 413 community that Meghan Rothschild admires and why?
So I'm a little biased here. I'm going to use someone who's sort of easy, Heather Clark. So
Oh,
she has been my best friend for many years. But she does all the fundraising for Bay State Children's. The woman is literally saving lives on a regular basis, and she's doing it through running these massive fundraising events, which both you and I know they're no small undertaking. These are
nope.
like very complex, high pressure, high chaos type of events. But she's humble. She is like she's too humble. Like I'm constantly like, Heather, like, please, can you get your kudos? Can you, can we cheer for you? Can we talk about you? She is someone who works tirelessly behind the scenes to make other people shine and never, ever expects credit, applause, nothing.
She doesn't let us like I've tried
She
to
doesn't let
take
us.
like pictures of her and give her shout outs. I do know, and I'll try if I remember to link to a blog. So she did a blog for
Oh yeah, for the
Springfield
Unprofessional
YPS.
Society.
Yep.
Yep.
And I got the privilege, and I will call it that, the privilege to write the intro. And I remember when I wrote the intro and I sent it to her, she was like flabbergasted, like it was hard. And I was like, this was short. Like I could have kept going, Heather. Like you're
Oh yeah.
really a great woman. Yeah, she's awesome.
She's phenomenal, and she's such a hard worker and like always puts everyone else before herself. And it's we go on a few vacations a year and I force her into self-care. But yeah, she's probably one of the hardest working women in Western Massachusetts. And I just I've been watching her do it for decades, and I love her. I think she's great people.
Well, now I'm gonna have her on sometime if I can ever get her on.
For
So
sure.
another question: what's your favorite 413 spot to either grab a bite or relax?
I have to pick just one for this, right?
Well, I mean, we are coming up on time, and I've got like 22 other questions. It's up to you. If you want to
Fair
get me
enough.
fired from, doing the podcast, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
So
for this purpose, one, maybe two.
okay, so for food wise, be Napoli. Like the most
Ooh.
delicious, indulgent splurge food. Like you do not go there if you're on a diet, but you
Yeah, I
go
was gonna
there
say,
and you
when
order
the hell have
everything
you
else.
ever eaten a carb? No, just kidding.
Oh
I'm
my
kidding.
God. So that when I go to Be Napoli, because their carbs are heaven. For a good time, I cannot say enough about Free Music Friday at MGM during the
Yeah.
summer months. Like it's a blast. And that it's
Yep.
not necessarily relaxing. It's more like just getting out there and enjoying and live music. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And shameless plug, and I'm going to do this because you've, I think, been very strategic to be careful to not mention clients because we have to be careful. And that's, rightfully so. You don't want to
Yeah.
do the whole, there's this like journalistic line, if you will. And this fortunately is a volunteer podcast for me. So I'm going to throw out one of my favorites who also happens to be a client, but came along way after I used them, which is the whole like Log Cabin Delaney group. And so what I mean is
Yes.
I recently went and got the most divine 90, it might have been 80 or 90 minute, I think it was 80-minute massage. That was
Oh
paradise.
yeah. Oh, I go there for my facials and they are phenomenal.
And then you just stroll right across from the D Hotel
To
and the
the
spa
patio.
and
Yes.
you have
Yep.
some food. And if it's winter time, you harass Mick, the chef, and you ask him for his butternut
Butternut
squash.
squash soup. Your
Made
favorite.
that soup one time for me, and I will not. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna follow you to the ends of the earth for that soup. So yes,
I
I
know
just
it's
I
so
had to
good
put the
there.
shameless plug out.
I love
What's
it.
something people are surprised to learn about Meghan?
I think probably there's not much. I'm going to be honest with you. My life is kind of an open book, and I'm pretty like everything about me is on my Instagram. But the fact that I became an aunt when I was 9 years old is sort of a fun fact about me that people don't realize.
Okay.
And that I have 11 nieces and nephews. So like one of the reasons I don't have kids is because I have 11 nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
My time is very adequately filled with children. Although
There-
they're all like most of them are adults now, but yeah, that's one fun fact. I became an aunt when I was 9, and I am closer in age to my niece than I am to my sisters.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do some math there, and that's gonna take way too long. All right, are you ready for rapid fire? I've got some like
Oh
fun
no,
rapid
I'm
fire.
never ready for these, but I'll give it a whirl.
I think they're easy. I'm not gonna like ask you about like bedroom habits or anything. That's for our adult podcast. No, I'm teasing. All right, first one: coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Ooh, as long as it's no
Well,
Costa
coffee in the
Rica.
morning, tea in the afternoon.
I was gonna say that's
There
her
it is.
disclaimer because she always complains I drink coffee like until I go to bed. Not decaf either, regular. And she's like, gel.
Yeah.
Anyway, next one.
One
Are
coffee
you
in the morning and iced tea for lunch. There it is.
killing me? Are you a sweet or a salty?
Oh God. I'm both. I know that's not what I'm supposed to answer, but I'm definitely both. But always a sweet after dinner. One bite of
Okay.
a sweet.
What's your go-to karaoke song or guilty pleasure song on your playlist?
My go-to karaoke song is Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot. I'll let you marinate on that.
Well, what I'm going to tell people is if you're on Instagram, go to Out with Meghan, Meghan, Out with Meghan, and look at her reels about her is it called M Sculpt? The butt
Yes.
treatment.
Yeah. I should use that when I get
Baby
the
got
butt
back
treatments.
and M Sculpt. Sorry, that was too much of a visual. All right, next one. If you could instantly gain a new skill or superpower, what would it be?
Oh, I would be fluent in another language.
Ooh, and
100%.
anyone in particular? Or
Ah,
it's okay if that was just
German, probably German.
really interesting.
Yeah,
I would
'cause
say
it's my
Spanish
heritage.
only because it's like usable.
I
Like I
do
feel like
okay in Spanish. I do okay in it. So I think I'm conversational there, but German, I would love to know.
not me. I only know the bad words. Anyway, next one. Dream dinner guest, dead or alive.
Dream dinner guest. Okay, my husband, don't, Andrew, don't listen. Zac Efron or Jake Gyllenhaal. I'd like to go out
Okay.
on a platonic date with one of those two.
Hey, Andrew's a cool guy. I'm sure he would probably make the food because Andrew like loves like culinary.
True.
So yeah.
True.
Weird habit.
Weird habit. I know I've got one, but I weird habit.
Like, do you have to get up at a certain time every day? Do you have to take your medicine before you drink your orange
I
juice?
have
Like,
to
what's
eat
your
breakfast within 30 minutes of waking up. I better have breakfast or I'm a angry woman.
That is true. I have overnighted, not like in the same room because that would be awkward and weird, but I've overnighted. And this woman, man, if she doesn't have some kind of substance quick,
Yeah.
whoo, yikes.
Breakfast needed.
Last rapid fire, and then I got two, and then we got to wrap up because we've already gone over time, but I love this. Last rapid fire. What's something you've always wanted to try but haven't yet?
Always wanted to try, but haven't. I was gonna say skydiving, but that's not accurate because I don't want to do it. Um, I I gotta be honest, I try most stuff that I want to.
Yeah, I would say that's true about you. One of the things I love
Yeah.
about you. All
I know
right.
I'm really not like a danger seeker, so I think everything I've ever wanted to try, I either have made a plan to do it or I've done it.
All right. Well, I have two last questions for you. And then sadly, our time is already over. My second to last is what is the biggest lesson that you wish 28-year-old Meghan knew?
I wish that I knew to trust the process a little bit better. I think there's a lot of anxiety, especially around business ownership. There's a lot of uncertainties, ups and downs, and anxieties, but you always find a way to land on your feet. Like it really is true. The universe pushes you in the direction you are meant to go into.
Yeah.
And so I wish 28-year-old me kind of like stopped and smelled the roses a little bit because I hustled in those years.
Yeah.
And now I'm sort of like taking a breath, but like 28-year-old Meghan needs to calm down.
I love that.
For sure.
All right. Last question. What's next for you, whether it's personal or professional, that you're just really excited about?
So in addition to doing Chikmedia, I am doing content production right now, and for a major Massachusetts-based media platform, and I'm really loving it. It's part-time based on my what I want to cover. I see more of that, and I see more speaking. I used to be a public speaker, and I want to get back into that because I love it. I love education, and I love addressing groups, and so professionally, I see more of that for me.
Well, that excites me because every time you're on a stage, I continue to learn more from you. Meghan, I wish we didn't have to end, but unfortunately, I have this really mean boss and she wants me to get back to work. No, I'm just kidding.
Fair enough.
Meghan Rothschild is president and chief badass at Chikmedia. This is BizBuzz 413. I'm Jill Munson, and I am so grateful to you for listening. We're going to continue this as long as you want it. That's the deal, because it's really for you out there. So make recommendations. The Beyond the BIZ Card series. This was our first one. If you enjoyed it and you want more, tell me who. Who should I be talking to? Email your ideas over at BizBuzz. And just like Meghan's email, it is one I'm going to spell for you. BIZBUZZ at livinglocal413.org. And I will include the information so you can reach out to Meghan on her socials and check out all the good stuff going on with her and Chikmedia. Thanks again, Meghan.
Thank you.
BizBuzz 413 was brought to you by Living Local.